comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department.
On March 24th, the liberators were assigned the task of dropping supplies to our troops crossing the Rhine. Another low-altitude mission, this one the jumping-off point for the final campaign. Trucks arrived at the 392nd Bomb Group with supplies to be loaded in the libs. They were backed up to the bombers where armament crews let go the tailgates and started unloading with vigor, until Lester Morris, a tech sergeant from Englewood, California, informed the men that some cases contained grenades and similar high-sensitive explosives.
People are getting laid off by the millions.
More gently.
People don't have the money to be able to
Liberators were to supply both American and British troops
take care of
one half
everything
the
from the
force
rent
to
to
carry
the
long, white
to the
metal
food need.
canisters and wicker hampers containing British supplies. The other half loaded oblong, brown, patterned shapes,
getting laid off by the
gasoline
millions.
jerry
People
cans,
don't have the money to be
bundles
able
of
to
goods
stay
to U.S. ports.
to be able to
Pairs
take
of
care of
different
everything from
colors
the rent
to identify
to
ammunition,
the food need.
gasoline, rations, and signal supplies. Thousands of men are parachuting from aircraft or landing by ground.
I remember every one here. I'll be back. Don't you forget that. I'll be back.
Massive failure in leadership. Massive failure in leadership.
He gets the title shot outdoors in a ballpark, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. You was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit. You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short-end money.
Well, I had some bets down for you. You saw some money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it. It was you, Charlie.
Okay. I tell him I couldn't find you. Said nobody won't believe it. Here. You take this. You're gonna need it.
Comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department. It's not a food shortage, it's a lack of leadership. A lack of leadership. It's not a food shortage, it's a lack of leadership. A lack of leadership. It's not a food shortage, it's a lack of leadership. A lack of leadership. People are getting laid off by the millions. People don't have the money to be able to stay, to be able to take care of everything from the rent to their food need. Comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department. Massive failure in leadership. 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 Massive failure in leadership.
comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department. Comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department.
We don't have a food shortage problem. We have a leadership problem. We have plenty of food. It's being plowed under.
Comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department. Comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department.
Why are you so confident he'll change his behavior, Mr. President?
Yeah, I'm not confident in changing behavior. What the hell? What do you do all the time?
So
when did I say I was confident?
You said in the next 6 months you'll be able to determine.
What I said was, let's get this straight. I said what will change their behavior is if the rest of the world reacts to them and it diminishes their standing in the world. I'm not confident of anything. I'm just stating the fact.
But given his past behavior has not changed, and
Comes
in
from the
that
most
press
corrupt
conference after
president we've
sitting
had
down
in
with
modern
you for
history.
several hours,
He's the
he
definition of
denied any
corruption.
involvement in cyber
He's
attacks.
corrupted
He downplayed
the
human rights
agencies of
abuses.
government,
He even
from the
refused to
Defense
say
Department,
Alexei
from the
Navalny's
State
name. So how does that account to a constructive meeting as President Putin?
You don't understand that, you're in the wrong business.
Is the summit with China?
Cool, we need to look quickly, let's go. Quickly, cool.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it.
Comes from the most corrupt president we've had in modern history. He's the definition of corruption. He's corrupted the agencies of government, from the Defense Department, from the State Department, from the Justice Department, all about making sure that he, in fact, allows somebody else to pick his opponent for him. That's what this is about. And I am not going to stand for it. And I'm not going to respond to it. I'm not going to talk about anything other than what the facts are. He's indicted himself by his own statements. This is not about me. It's not about my son. There's not a shred of evidence there's anything done that's wrong. And so I'll take your question.
You have said that you didn't support an impeachment inquiry unless the White House was stonewalling document requests. The White House is Democrats are having trouble getting documents. Do you now support the impeachment inquiry?
Yeah, I said from the beginning, the constitutional process, notwithstanding what he calls it, he calls the impeachment proceeding a coup. A coup. He talks about how we should handle whistleblowers. He talks about there will be a civil war. This is the guy that's unhinged. He is unhinged. I worry about what he's going to do, not about me or my family. I worried about what he'll do in the next year in the presidency as this thing continues to rot on his watch.
You spend so much time in the Senate. The Senate is where there would be a trial of this president. If you were in the Senate, would you vote to convict and remove Donald Trump?
I am not going to speculate what I would do in the Senate. I'm a former vice president. I know what occurred in Ukraine. I know what occurred in terms of China. I know what occurred in terms of Russia. This is a president trying to get two of our most serious competitors and not allies to decide this election, decide who he runs against. This guy, like all bullies, is a coward. He does not want to run against me. That's what this is about.
How is your role?
Excuse me, there is a photo of you golfing with your son Hunter and his business partner Devin Archer. Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
How is your role as vice president in charge of policy in Ukraine and your son's job in Ukraine? How is that not a conflict of interest?
It's not a conflict of interest. There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man, what he's doing, that no president has ever done. No president.
Was your campaign targeted by the Iranian hackers?
I have no idea whether it was or not.
A question, Mr. Vice President, about if you had, right now you're talking about this and you're saying that you're only going to talk about the facts, right? How do you prevent this, though, from being a burden to your candidacy, as everybody here is talking about it and it's going to follow you around?
Because the irony of all ironies is you press people are doing your job. You're pointing out when he's flat lying, where there is no evidence, none, not a scintilla, not one little tiny piece. The American people know me and they know him. They know, even the people who support him know this man lacks character. Even the people who support him know he lies constantly. So look, I'm not worried about here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that he gets so unhinged, and with a year left to go in this administration, he does something really, really, really stupid in terms of our international interest. I don't mean about our election. That's already, he's basically acknowledged he's tried to get people to interfere in our election. Let other people decide who the candidate was going to be. But the fact of the matter is, I worry, and you do too in your heart. The fact of the matter is, you wonder what this guy's going to do. Have you ever seen, a rhetorical question, a president ever so unhinged as this guy is? That's what worries me. Let the House focus on what they're focusing on in the Senate, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to beat them on the merits. Thank you.
Sand it, Holy Stone it, they say. And when you've done, what happens? Start over again, they say. Clean it up, sand it down, buff it off. Keeps you busy, lad, no time for mischief. Ah, here we go.
Looming straight up and over us, like a solid iron figurehead suddenly thrust into our vision, stood Captain Ahab. His whole high, broad form weighed down upon a barbaric white leg carved from the jawbone of a whale. He did not feel the wind or smell the salt air. He only stood staring at the horizon with the marks of some inner crucifixion and woe deep in his face.
Mr. Stopper. Sir? Call everybody aft.
All hands
What do you do when you see a whale, men?
Sing after him! After him!
Good. What do you do next?
After him!
And what tune is it you pull to, men? All you mastheaders, now hear me. You're to look for the white whale. A whale as white and as big as a mountain of snow. See this Spanish gold ounce? Carpenter, hand me your top maul. Whosoever of ye finds me that white whale, ye shall have this Spanish gold ounce, my boys.